It's a heck of a win for us at this stage of the season for this group of guys to come on the road against a team as good as Nebraska and really execute our game plan almost to perfection. The offensive rebounds weren't part of the plan, but other than that, I thought the guys really dug in defensively, made Shields looks tough. Petaway's he's gonna hit some. He's gonna take some tough shots. He's gonna make some tough shots, and we were prepared to live with that. But our execution down the stretch offensively, just to stay patient and be who we are, I thought was really good. We got three seniors, Austin and Avery and Will, who've beaten Nebraska 4 straight times, and that hasn't happened very often in our history. So I'm really proud of them, given what we lost last year. This is their team now, and our preparation this week was really, really good. And to come in and really, that crowd got into it a few times, and we found a way to really answer each time that happened without having to burn a bunch of time out. So I'm very proud of my team, and obviously I have tremendous respect for Tim and the job that he does. We beat a heck of a basketball team tonight.
Questions for the student athletes first.
Both guys, Mac talked about following the game plan, and I guess give us an idea of what you guys are trying to accomplish defensively and how close we become to maybe following it.
I thought we did for the most part. We got away from it a little bit in the first half. It was, just try to clog gaps. We got to make sure that we were in the driving lanes, and we were going to try to make them give it up, make other people beat us. And I thought in the first half we did a so-so job, but I thought in the second half we really did a good job.
Yeah, like G said, we just tried to keep the ball out of Petaway and Shields' hands and make the other guys score, and I think we did a good job of that going into the late in the second half.
Austin, when Petaway's got it going like that, he did the first half. What do you try to do to slow him down?
He's a guy where there's not a lot you can do. He's gonna hit tough shots, but you just kind of gotta live with that and just try to lock everybody else down. He's a great player, so a lot of credit to him.
How do you go about slowing down Shields though? You got 2 of those guys. You can't stop that. You guys did an awesome job at him tonight, I thought.
Right. We just had to close out fast, try to take away that 3, and then take away his drive. He wants to get to the lane a lot, so that was a big key, just trying to clog up that lane, take away that right hand.
I guess how satisfying from a defensive standpoint is it to put together a game like today compared to what you guys did at Tulsa?
Well, we didn't follow the game plan there, and the result showed. I thought we did a much better job today in the second half, and it showed today. So I think we need to, as a team, realize that we need to follow the scouting report a little bit better.
Yeah, like Z said, we executed our game plan. In Tulsa, we didn't really execute our game plan. We just tried to just go with the flow. And tonight, we listened to the coaches a little bit more than we have, and we got the job done.
Austin, for the seniors have had obviously a lot of success against Nebraska. How much of that did you guys lean on this week coming in, after the loss?
Quite a bit, but at the same time, it's still another basketball game, so we have to look past the whole rivalry and things like that, and just go back to what we knew and get back to that defense that we were playing at the beginning of the year.
I guess how much of an impact did the seniors have this week in preparation and kind of getting you guys ready for this game?
They're leaders. That's exactly what they are, and seniors, and we got great ones. But as an underclassman, you just try to send these guys out on top. You don't want them leaving their senior year and getting beat their last time playing, so we tried to send them out with 4 wins in 4 years against them.
They had to lead up to 10 points, and then you guys go on that run to close the first half. How are you able to get everybody to stay composed and not to get too bogged down by that early deficit?
We've been at that point before in the season, like that Oklahoma game. We were down 18, so we stayed resilient, kept our composure, executed when we had to. I think was big, and we got stops when we had to on a defensive end.
Just like Chad said, we've been in this situation before. Now, granted, today was on the road, but we as a team, we tried to stay composed by having each other's backs. We just tried to stay within our system and do what we were supposed to do.
How was that atmosphere compared to the places you played over your years here?
It was pretty tough. Kind of felt similar to when my freshman year when we played at San Diego State. Everybody was jumping around. The floor was shaking a little bit. It was loud. Couldn't really hear Mac a lot when we were trying to call plays. It was a tough environment.
Take two more for these student athletes.
Austin, you've been a part of some teams that have won with some pretty good offensive displays. Is this as good a defense as maybe you guys have put together for 40 minutes since you've been here?
I would have to say it's close. There's still some areas that we can improve in the first half that we didn't do a great job of, that we'll go back and watch film of. But the whole 40 minutes, I think we did a pretty good job.
Anything else for Isaiah or Austin? Thanks, guys. Questions for Greg and Drew?
How do you think the players handled the atmosphere? They haven't been in a lot of these kind of atmospheres with these guys haven't, and especially down here. And was there a point you kind of wanted them to get past where they'd be okay? Or?
Well, I was really worried, trying to get through the first 2 TV timeouts, because. And we did a good enough job early in the game. I think Nebraska scored on 3 of their first 10 possessions, and even though they led 7-5 at that point, the crowd never really, we didn't throw any fuel on the fire that was already started. So we were able to kind of get through that. They got the 10-point lead, and we had a transition opportunity, so I elected not to take the timeout. I think Austin got to the basket and got a layup. So I just, we have some veterans on this team. They're inexperienced in the roles that they're playing now, with the exception of Austin. And obviously, he hits the layup when they get down 10. They cut it to 3 late. He hits the 15-foot pull-up over their big to put us back up 5. So, we obviously look to him for a lot of leadership and to make plays on the floor. And, this is, like I said, this is an unbelievable win for us in front of a great crowd. This is it's incredible to have 2 programs in this state that fill their arenas and their fans are so engaged in their basketball teams the way these 2 are.
Greg, is it fair to say that you were more concerned about Shields than Pettaway going into this game, or is that going too far?
I think Pettaway was taking 20 shots no matter what we did. And Shields is obviously a little more choosy. He's a little more efficient. Sometimes with his shot selection. So we just didn't want to give him rhythm threes. We wanted to plug up the lanes, especially when he was going with it to his right hand where he's so good. And then, let's be honest, he missed a couple that he probably normally makes. So to win a game like this, you need a little luck as well.
Greg, you put 20 minutes of good defense together against Oklahoma. How much do you think that gave the guys confidence in the fact that they could win with this type of game?
I think every experience you have as a team, whether it's good or bad, I think you have an opportunity to grow from it. Whether you do or not is really up to you. And I think we certainly, as we talked about after the Oklahoma game, that we could draw back on that experience at some point in the season. And tonight, certainly down 10 in the first half with the crowd in the game, we had to put together a run of stops to get back in the game before halftime. You learn from everything, and certainly we learned from our experience with Oklahoma.
Given that you guys had such losses from a year ago with personnel, Nebraska was returning everybody. A lot of people probably thought that this would be Nebraska's year to get you. Clearing a hurdle like this under those circumstances with the personnel, the way it worked out, does that make this a more significant win for you?
I mean, it's always significant when you beat Nebraska because they're our rival, and it's the one game I think both fan bases mark on their calendar. So that makes it fun. I think it's, as I've said many times before, I think it's great that we're both NCAA tournament teams last year, and we're off to good starts this year. I think that's awesome for basketball in the state of Nebraska. But this group, the thing that we hadn't done yet, we'd beaten a great Oklahoma team at home, and we'd lost a couple away from home, but we hadn't found a way to get a win against a quality opponent on the road, and we needed to check that off our list because I think there's something to having the belief that you can do it. And had we lost a close game as well as we played defensively, that would have been a tough pill to swallow.
Ricky and Avery really hit big shots kind of to get you guys over the hump when you were trying to claw back into it. I guess how key were the shots they hit and the plays they made at key moments?
Well, it goes without saying, having Avery Dingman back to be able to put him on Petaway and Shields with his size and understanding of what we're doing defensively. You know, he's been part of those game plans in the past and understands how to execute them better than some of the other guys on our team. So we're naturally going to become a better defensive team when he got back in the lineup. But Ricky Kreckle, as I told him after the game, it was good to finally see him smile. We've asked him to do a lot. He was playing the backup 4 for us, and Avery went down right before our first game. We had to kind of fast-track him at the small forward spot, so his head was spinning trying to learn everything that we were asking him to do. So tonight I just thought he played at a really good pace and picked his spots to shoot it, picked his spots to turn shots down. But when you're coming wide in transition and you can space the floor with some of the guys we can, and you got Austin with the ball in his hands, it can be tough to guard sometimes.
Pretty good open look in the first half and couldn't get a lot of shots to go down.
Who's that?
You had some good looks in the first half, couldn't get some shots to go down. How important was it to get those good looks and then knock them down in that second half?
Well, we went with Ricky instead of Toby. Toby had 5 great looks, and as I've said before, I have to remind myself he's a freshman, and we ask a lot of him and we expect a lot of him, and he'll become better because of this experience. But you hope that when one of your starters has an off night, that somebody's there ready to take those minutes and make the most of them. And certainly the 30 points off our bench compared to the 8 off their bench was a big factor in this game.
3 more for Coach.
You had 10 turnovers in the first half and just 2 in the second half. Did it seem like the guys were maybe finding easier passes to make in the second half and they were controlling the ball a little bit better?
Well, we knew Nebraska really collapses to the dribble, and I felt like the first half we got into the paint, and then rather than slowing ourselves down and setting our feet, we were trying to make a play with our feet off the floor. Nebraska knocked a lot of balls loose as a result of that, and then that's fueling their transition game going the other way. So we just talked about at halftime about we need to get into the paint, and their defense makes that tough to do because we can get in there and we can spray it. But you have to be strong with it when you get there, and that's where most of our turnovers came from the first half, and fortunately we were able to eliminate them those second half.
David Rivers kind of a guy that sneaks up on you offensively a little bit? He was pretty successful kind of mid-range.
Well, he is, because you have to commit so much to Petaway and Shields, and you have to back off somebody. So Benny Parker hits a couple shots, David hits 3 or 4 shots from the perimeter, but we just made the decision that that's something we had to live with to try to take Shields and Petaway away the best we could.
Any last question?
Thank you.
Thank you.